Hey there, welcome back to the channel. I hope you have found the last two videos on document splitting useful. In the first one, we have discussed about the overall concept of document splitting in S4. And in the second video, we have seen the configurations that are supposed to be done at SPRO for document splitting. And in this video, let us try to post some documents in the system and see how different aspects of document splitting work. Before I go into the video, please do like and share the videos if you are finding those useful, and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. And you also have an option to contribute for our work by joining the channel. You can click on the join button below this video and you can do a recurring contribution which helps us to create many such videos. And in return, you can get member only perks like discount coupons and member exclusive video content on the channel. If you want to do a one time contribution, you can click the thanks button below the video and that helps us to create many such videos. So let's jump in. So I'm in the transaction code FB50 and we'll just try to post a simple document and let's see the basic scenario of document splitting first. So I'll just post from an expense account to a balance sheet account. So I'm just debiting my expenses of 1000 and I'm assigning a cost center and I'm covering those from an asset account, which is my cash account. And obviously on the balance sheet account, I'm not going to assign any cost object. So if I save it, let us display this document. And on the entry view of this document, which is this, we see the same way how we have posted it. There is a customer discount account, and here we're having a cost object, and a profit center and segment have been derived from the cost center. And there is a balance sheet account for which there is no cost object assigned to it. Now, if I go to the general ledger view, the document splitting kicks in. And here is where we can see that our characteristics which we have used, which is the profit center and segment for document splitting, have also been assigned onto the balance sheet account. So now if I try to extract a report at this profit center level, it will have a zero balance because both debits and credits are matching. Unlike in the entry view where there is no credits onto this cost object. That means there is no cost object assigned to the balance sheet account. Now, where are these stored? First thing, let me go to BKPF or I go to BSEG. So in this BSEG, if I go to this company code AC20 and this document number and execute it, let me take the financial year as well, maybe. Right. So these are the two line items. And here, if I see, let us see on which line item are we having the cost objects. So the first one, we are having the cost object assigned only on the first line item, right? And what is that GL account on the first line item? That is going to be a debit one, which is of 1000, which means this is an expense or a P&L line item on which we have the cost object stored in the table. That means at a BSEG or a BKPF level, obviously at a BKPF, we don't have a line item details, but at a BSEG level, we do not have a document splitting view stored. So where can we see that? We can see it in AC document. So the same thing, I'll go to this ledger 0L and company code is AC20 and 2025 and this is the document number executed. Here, if you see, we will be able to see the cost objects on both the line items. Let me search for the cost objects. Yeah. So here, if you see, though cost center is available only on one line item. Why? Because cost center is not a document splitting characteristic, but the corresponding profit center and the segment which are derived are available both on the P&L line item as well as the balance sheet line item. So in short, the document splitting view is stored on the AC docket table. So if you want to extract some managerial reports where you want to extract some reports on your profit centers or segments, then that should have AC docket as the source, but not BSEC. So this is a very simple case of a document splitting. You have one line item with cost object. There is another balance sheet line item without cost object. Document splitting has assigned the same cost object from the P&L line item onto this balance sheet line item. This is called as active splitting. Now let us also try another scenario where we'll see a bit more how document splitting works if there are multiple line items with more than one cost object. So for that, I'll go to the transaction code FP70. Under FP70, I'm having this company code. Let me take it as AC20. Sorry. And I'll take this customer. Sorry, this is FB70, my bad. I'll go on to FB60. We can do it both in FB60 as well as FB70, but the only thing is in this system currently there is an issue with FB70. Some standard function module is missing, so that is why I'm not showing it on AR side, but the logic works perfectly fine for all the scenarios in AR as well as AP. So I'll also see now we're having a vendor invoice where a vendor is being credited and I'm taking only one expense account and that is being debited. So I'll take this and here I am having a cost center AC20. Very much similar to than what we have posted in the previous one. The only thing is this is a reconciliation account, whereas in the previous one it was just a normal balance sheet account. So if you want to see how document splitting works, either you can post the document, go to the general ledger view and see it, or if you want to quickly see, which I feel is better for our testing scenarios, we can also use simulate general ledger option. So I'll click on simulate GL. The simulate GL will show us the general ledger view. That means the AC docket view. And how can we see it? So if you see here, I'm having the profit center assigned on both. It is sorted on profit center, hence you are not able to see on both the line items. Let me show now. So if you see here, we're having both the line items having profit center, whereas the entry view was actually only on cost center, that too only on the expense line item, the P&L line item. And the segment is also now assigned to both the line items. So the document splitting is doing the job in the backend. Now, the beauty of going to simulate general ledger is the expert mode. Now, if you are way more curious to understand how this document splitting works, which rules have been invoked to create this split view, then you can go to the expert mode. And here you can see the reference procedure. This is the splitting method. And here, if you see, it tells under which business transaction or which business transaction variant was this document falling under. So before we see further, we'll go to the SPRO and we'll see what this business transaction and the transaction variant are actually quoting. Financial accounting. Under this, general ledger accounting, business transactions, document splitting. And here, if you go to extended document splitting, we have business transaction variants. So what was the business transaction? 300 and the variant is 001. So if you see here, it is 0300. And under this variant, we have only one standard variant. Okay, we have two. One is the standard one. The other one is Miro. So this is not Miro. This is a standard one. And under this, these are the different item categories allowed. And which is mandatory? The vendor is mandatory. We'll discuss about how this entire logic is working, why we have this as mandatory, what happens if we do not have it. All that is a part of the next video that I will prepare on understanding the logic behind document splitting. As I said, document splitting has multiple facets than what we usually see from a configuration point of view. So we'll try to understand that aspects as well. And we have document type, company code, and the zero balance method is P, which is passive, and the ledger is 0L. So here if you see, we have this one and I'll click on continue and I can save it. Fine. If not, I can also ignore it. So I'm ignoring it for now. So what I'll do now is I'll change it a slide. I'll have two expense line items. And this one I'm debiting with another 500. And here I will have another cost center called as common. Now we'll see how the document splitting is working. So here if you see, there is two line items on the AR side. Maybe I will do this. So if you see here, these are the two entry line items. So that means the two P&L line items which are having different cost centers assigned to it. Obviously, a different profit center is coming from those. We have the same segment, so it is falling under the same segment. But if you see here, the recon account is now split into two parts. The 1000 credit on the vendor is now split into two the credits of 500 and 500 each, and we are having different profit center, the cost object or the characteristic assigned to each of these line items. So the advantage is the whole document is now balancing to zero, which is obviously the same case in the entry view as well. But if I sort it or if I put a subtotal on this one, at every cost object level, the balance is zero. Whereas if you see the entry view, you will not have that because the balance sheet line item, which is the recon account in this case, is not having the cost object. So this is also a part of how document splitting works, and this is called as inheritance. So the system had inherited these cost objects from the P&L line items and split the balance sheet line item equally into those distributions. So what happens if I change the amounts? It's pretty simple. Whatever the amounts the P&L line items are distributed into, the same amounts are also used to distribute the recon account. So if you see here, first part is 400, second part is 600. So this is one of the document splittings. So now I'll try to save this. Document is posted. Let us display this. This is the general ledger, sorry, this is the entry view and this is the general ledger view, what we saw already as a part of the simulations. Now, this is active splitting. Now we'll also see passive splitting. So what can we do? We'll try to post a vendor incoming payments. So I'll go to F-53, which is outgoing payments. Sorry, not incoming, it's vendor, so it is outgoing. KZ document type, some test reference. I don't have any house banks for the moment, or I have it, but I'll just go with the main bank GL account. And what is the amount? We are having 1000 on the vendor. And what is the value date? I'll take some date. What is our vendor? Okay, we are having only one vendor, and this is the vendor I would think I have used for posting it. Fine. So what is the amount? This is the amount. And this is the one I think that is posted. Yeah, this is different and this is different. The financial year has changed probably. Yes. So this is the document. Let me take it and maybe I'll also put it. Sorry, this is the vendor. Okay, it says value date is not required. Perfect. This is the vendor. And the document number is this one. Enter and okay, the tolerances are missing. Let me quickly maintain that. I'll go to SPRO. Financial accounting. AR and AP, business transactions. I'll take it as outgoing payments and manual outgoing payments. Let's see here, define tolerances. I'll just copy some blank one and assign it to my company code. Save it. Now hit enter, process open items. There are two line items. We want to take the one from this one. So I will remove this or let us deactivate this. And let us activate this without any cash discounts. Now let us try to simulate this. I'll go to simulate general ledger and see here the main bank account is also split based on the cost objects that were there on the original invoice. So if you see here, the recon account is not having any profit centers. Of course, I'm sorry, it is having profit centers, but we did not enter any profit center in this transaction. So it is deriving from the original invoice. This is called as a passive splitting. And the same document splitting functionality is also now being applied onto the main bank account, which is actually the balance sheet GL account in this case. Of course, this is a balance sheet to balance sheet. Typically, we're not going to assign any cost objects onto balance sheet to balance sheet transactions. So in this case, the system has derived or inherited the profit centers from the previous one as a passive splitting, and that has also been inherited onto the main bank account. So this is how the passive splitting works. So we saw active splitting as well as passive splitting. And we saw cases of where you're having only one line item or one cost object and how that is impacting the balance sheet, and you're having more than one cost object and how that is actually impacting the document splitting. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you have found it useful, and you know that if you are finding it useful, please do share, like, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. It really helps us to motivate ourselves prepare many such videos for you. So see you in the next video. Stay tuned. We'll discuss about the logic behind document splitting in that. Take care.